So he came to Bangalore one day to review work, and he looked at this stuff. He said, "What is this rubbish?" He said, So he said, "No, don't release all this nonsense. Don't. Out. That's how he says it. I hated him. I had this very rebellious attitude with my manager. And my poor manager of Bangalore at that point in time, I was the only guy there. If he lost me, then there wouldn't be any writer. So, and he was also very fond of me, and he helped me phenomenally. Sridhar was his name. He's a fabulous guy also. He's also a great motivator. He told me, "Listen, I'll try and talk to him." I think he went and tried to talk to Mr. Krishnamurthy, and Krishnamurthy gave him the same advice. You don't know anything too. So he also shut up. But this fabulous thing of there is a client. Fortunately, the client liked the ad very much, and we released it, much to Mr. Krishnamurthy's disapproval. We had to release it because the client liked it, or at least that's what Sridhar played it to him as. So then the next day the ad came in the Times of India, and he opened it in the morning. And trust him. I mean, he is the chairman of a company which is kind of building Vimal, Rasna, all kinds of things. But he took that one ad written by some trainee. He had only one connection to the trainee because the trainee was an experiment of his. So he just took that ad and he said, "I want to prove to these people what advertising works or does not work." He went, he commissioned a research on that ad, and he did all the stuff. He spoke to so many correspondents, so many people, young people, everything. I got a note on my table with that mark, with that ad, with a signature, which actually said, "This is the chairman of a company," and I was a writer. I don't even know what the research did. I just look at it as the most fantastic form of motivation. He just wrote, "I was wrong. I think you were right here." I mean, it was the most outstanding thing to do. I learned what leadership is, what motivating people is, because in advertising, it's a funny profession. Yes, you have consumer insights. Yes, you have to understand the consumer. But how do you talk to the consumer? What is the idea that comes at that point of time? Nobody till today knows where the idea comes from. It comes on energy. If you're motivated, if you feel in a positive space, you're thinking right, you're thinking in the right direction, the energy comes. Motivation, leadership are hugely important in advertising. And I learned one thing from him about leadership. Leadership is not about how big the guy thinks you are, but leadership is about how much you make him feel that there is in it for him by working with you. It's always the relationship, any relationship in life is about what's in it for me. And leadership has to answer that question. If a leader does not answer what's in it for the subordinate working with him, then he has no business to be a leader. Nobody is going to respect you for saying, "Hey, you're a leader, you've done so many things in the past. Okay, what are you doing for me?" The more you do for me, the more you make me grow, the more you make me feel more confident, I become a better leader. I have learned to respect him, not because how great he is, that of course he is, but how great he made me feel, how confident he made me become. And that's huge, and there are not many agencies today, there are not many leaders who do this to people. And that's why Mudra was a great agency at that point of time, because it took a lot of people who had no direction, who were not born geniuses, who were not kind of born literate kind of, MBA holders, but got them into a place, gave them the confidence and said, "You can kind of go and conquer the world."